And good morning, everybody. We are headed out to another farm cleanup. This one here is going to be a little bit interesting because I can't just do this farm cleanup. I've got to do this farm cleanup, plus I've got to run the yard, plus I got to do a bunch of other stuff. My dad still isn't back at it 100%, so this is going to be kind of a work on it here and there type of situation. But they're really wanting us to get in there and at least get started on it. There's not a ton of stuff there. I'm thinking there's probably about 100 tons. There's a few good pieces, mostly scrap. I'll take you on a tour here in just a little bit when I get there, but first things first, I've got to disconnect the beeper on this loader right here. The reason why I'm disconnecting the beeper is just because the place we're going, there's an elderly lady that lives there, and I don't know what her sleep schedule is, and so if I'm out there early in the morning working, the loader's loud enough as is. I don't need the beeper out there too, keeping her awake. And even if she is awake, if you're not used to it, if you have to hear that beeper all day long, it can get kind of annoying. Man, this loader's never been this quiet. This is crazy. I'm able to back up without waking up the entire neighborhood. The reason why I haven't disconnected that beeper before is just liability reasons. Even with the beeper, sometimes I have people still drive right up behind me while I'm crushing cars and crazy stuff like that. So it's just to protect us. But for this farm cleanup, I'm going to be the only person working out there most of the time, so it won't be that big of a deal. The reason why I'm taking this loader instead of the older loader out there is, number one, this loader has more power to it. A lot of this stuff is out in the trees. I don't know if I'm gonna have to rip trees out. There's a lot of heavy equipment. This loader lifts a little bit more weight, and so I just want to make sure. I'd rather be safe than sorry. And then the other reason is the fuel gauge works in this loader. It does not work in the other. Well, it works in the other loader, but the painted on backing or whatever it is on the inside of the screen has come loose from the sunlight, and a chunk of it fell right in front of the fuel gauge, and so you can't take that apart, and it's like a $1,500 piece. And I don't technically need it, so I've just never replaced it. But once the tank gets below about half a tank, I have no clue how much fuel is in that loader. Most of the junk we're going to be hauling back to the other yard where I've been crushing at. I would just haul it straight into the claw, but man, they've been doing some weird stuff lately, and they're not wanting to pay me anything for stuff, and they've been acting really weird about a few things, and so I don't know what's going on over there. I kind of wondering if they're not changing hands and selling out again. A lot of times when big scrap companies sell out, they act really weird for a little while until they get everything going again. But with that, I'll see you out at the farm. We'll go on a tour. And we made it to the farm. Posted a preview of this farm cleanup, and there was a few more pieces here then. There was a piece sitting right here, a real nice drag, I think it was. I was going to save that and try to sell it, and it's gone. There was a piece over here that was a real nice plow or something. I can't remember what was there. Once again, I was going to try to save that. There was a few nicer pieces that I was going to keep and resell, but looks like they are gone. But I'll show you what's still here. I think a family member came out and got some stuff, and I think there was a neighbor down the road that had some stuff stored out here that he came and got his stuff, and so that's why we didn't start on it right away, as we didn't know exactly what was going to go and what wasn't. A lot of this stuff is still usable. It was being used up until it was parked, but the problem is it's just a hard challenge to get this stuff to the consignment sale, and then there isn't another consignment sale until the spring, and so by the time you'd have to take it back to your place and store it and then take it to the consignment, and so that's just a lot of hauling big bulky farm equipment that takes up most of the road, and it's not fun to pull, and it's just not worth it. And then it wouldn't bring that much at the consignment anyway for this type of stuff. This big chisel, I might hang on to that piece there just because it's easy to haul. It's a pretty good one, and it's for the big 3-point setup. The manure spreader, I'll look at it, maybe. That piece over there, maybe. But this big stuff, I have to cut it up to haul it, so I'm not gonna bother. And at the auctions, I buy a lot of this stuff, or back when we used to go to auctions a lot, I would buy a lot of this stuff for scrap anyway, so probably wouldn't bring anything. So what I'll have to do on something like this is I'll have to cut the tongue off of it, then I'll have to come back here and I'll have to cut all this stuff off the back of it as well, and so that way it'll be basically a big tongue up here, this piece, and then this back here. I'm going to have the company that has the big orange dumpsters set a dumpster out here, and so all the small stuff like that stuff back there I can throw in the dumpster. The big bulky stuff I want to haul back to the yard and crush it in cars. Like I was saying, I wish I could just haul it to the claw place, but man, it's just too much weird stuff going on down there. I can't sell the stuff for that much less money. I make an extra 40 bucks a ton for everything that I haul back and crush compared to if I hauled it down there. So I mean, at 40 bucks a ton, that's just a lot of money. This piece here will be pretty easy. Just got to cut the tongue off of it, then it'll fit right in there. This is going to be a more complicated one here. There's quite a bit of cutting going to need to be done on this. The guy's going to have to cut these wings off and then cut the wings up to make them fit, and this bottom piece is going to need quite a bit of cutting on it. So I have everything out here. I think this is really the only super complicated thing. The old grain drill up there, once again, just knock a tongue off. What else we got? We got this here. I think this is fine just like it is. This old disc. Yeah, that tongue there, I can just fold that. That's not an issue. That piece will fold right up. This piece here, just knock the tongue off. Once again, this is not a bad piece. I don't know. Probably not going to mess with it though. I've seen these sell for, you know, a couple $100 at the auctions before, so it's not worth the risk. I've seen them sell for decent money too, like $600-700, but you know, it's just not worth the risk. I hate to put all that effort into it, take it to the auction, sell it for $200, and then have to pay 25% of that to the auctioneer. This piece here has a big tongue coming out here, but it's real lightweight. I can fold that up, and honestly, that's small enough and heavy enough, I can probably just put that in the iron box. These here, once again, are something that sometimes sells for more than scrap value at the auctions, but is it going to sell for enough to make it worth the time and effort to have to haul it home, store it, take it to the auction, pay the auctioneer 25%, so on and so forth. They're all connected together with this piece. Now this piece might be something, because you can pull 2 grain drills at once with this piece, so I might save the extra puller, but the grain drills themselves, probably not. And it looks like another big piece that's going to be a little bit on the complicated side to get cut up. Not entirely sure what this is. This some sort of chisel or some sort of plow? So I guess I have 2 complicated ones to cut up. I was hoping to get out here a little bit sooner, because Sean could have helped me, but right now Sean is leaving today. As of filming this, he's leaving for Texas for a month, and so I won't have any help out here. Some of this stuff, like these here, I'll be able just to wad those up, take them in, crush them in cars. I might put them in the iron box, but the problem is there's just not a lot of weight there, and so I'm trying to save the iron boxes for the heavy, small stuff. Post hole digger, might hang on to that. And then what do we got here? Just a pile of iron. Yeah, stuff like this is perfect to throw in the iron box. Then over here, this has got a rotary hoe of some sort, so I'll probably take that back and save all the rotary hose off of it and then crush the rest. And I think there's one more rotary hoe over here. Yeah, this is a big John Deere rotary hoe here, so of course I'll save this and pull all the rotaries off of it later. Tree started to claim it, but I think I can still get it out of there. That tree won't be bad. This one here looks like it ate a couple of the teeth, but I think I can still rip it out of there okay. This is why I brought the big loader. I did notice they got this already. There was a bunch of gates here, and so a guy couldn't get through here last time I was out here, but now they've got this road open all the way, and this circles around right here into that field, so I'll be able to come in here now. There's a bunch of just scrap iron back here. This old combine sure is neat. That's a neat piece. And I think I mean, it's a little bit on the wide side, but I think if I take this header off, I can go ahead and haul that whole thing back to the yard, because the rest of it's not that wide. So I just got to get the header off of it. Of course, I'll save the header for the augers out of it. They're already split in half, so that'll be a really good one there. I think I'm out of augers right now. I just sold my last 3 augers I had, or 4, no 5. I had 5 of them and I just sold them. They all went to Texas. But yeah, if we just knock the header off, take the whole thing home, I think I can make that one fit just like it is. There's a handful of iron down here, hog feeder, just wad that up. But a bunch of this iron, like this type of stuff, is what's perfect to throw in the iron box. That there. This piece here is a hay loader of some sort. I forget exactly how he said it worked. Said something about it would automatically dump or whatnot. Something about you'd pull this behind a pickup or something like that, and that way it would rake up the hay and load the hay, or I forget exactly how he said it would work. But this thing is absolutely huge. I'm gonna have to come in here and cut it up just to get it out of here. That's one reason why I want to do this now, is before all this turns brown. Once this turns brown, this is gonna be a major fire hazard. So I do want to get this done within the next month or so. I think it'll rip out of that tree there. That tree just folded the metal over there, but this one here actually started eating the metal. This will fit on the trailer, fit in the crusher just like it is. A blade, what's this? Blade of some sort. Once again, I think that'll fit, but that might be something to save and try to sell, because that'll fit right on a tractor. So that might be a keeper piece. Trailer is kind of interesting. Not entirely sure what that was. It's homemade, it's all plywood, but it's got a metal frame. So we'll probably take it back and crush it. I'm just trying to figure out what it was. I can't quite tell. Not sure. Might knock off some of the plywood first. What's this? A Dodge? Yeah, this is an old Dodge pickup bed trailer. Definitely hang on to that. It's pretty rough, but we can cut it up for art later. What is this, a road grader? Yeah, road grader right here. I'll hang on to that. That's good yard art. Worth more for art than it is for scrap, for sure. That's a small one there. That's kind of neat. I don't have any like that. Bunches of tin. I may hang on to this tin, I may not. Depends on what mood I'm in that day when we're cleaning it up. This stuff used to be hot. I used to sell this stuff like crazy, but it's gotten a lot harder to sell over the years. Bunches of iron back there. Obviously the tanks don't go. Bunches of iron all through here. I think, if I remember right, there's a windmill down here. Yeah, right here. All these windmill pieces. We'll hang on to those. I'll probably hang on to some of this galvanized stuff like this. That's kind of neat. I bet that would sell down south. Another manure spreader. That one's just junk. Iron wheels that are pretty neat. Some more iron. There's stuff down here in the weeds all over the place. What do we got here? This would be a pretty easy piece to cut up. Okay, this is one of my favorite pieces right here. This one's definitely going home. I may keep this one. This is an 1880s oil wagon, I guess you'd call it. Really neat piece, really old piece. I think, yeah, it's got a steel frame on it. The tank is sitting on wood. It's got a little bit of the name left on it. What does that say? Pacific? Yeah, I think it says Pacific for motor cars. I can't tell if that says Pacific or not. Something to that effect. Yeah, for motor car. That's a really neat tank. I really like this. Definitely one of my favorite pieces out here. Oh, which way do we go? There's junk all down that way, all through there, all through here, all through there, a bunch more over there. Don't even know what direction to go. I guess we'll come back up this. There's another really piece over there. I'll show it to you in a little bit. Stay tuned for that. It's one of the better pieces out here. What's left of an old wagon trailer, some old lawnmowers over there, bunches of iron through here. That might be a piece there that I just have to cut and leave half of it behind, because that is in that tree, Some more hog feeders or goat feeders over there. What do we got here? A corn shucker? Something like that. Bunches of tin all through the trees. I think this is the roof. Yeah, this is the roof off of this silo right here. Looks like the silo is still full of hay. This one's not in bad condition other than the roof being gone. And the roof's right here. There's a few vehicles out here, a few trucks. There's a skull. What is this? Like a late 60s, early 70s Ford F-250. Pretty rough. Looks like it's got a few parts left on it here and there. So we'll probably pull those few pieces off and then go ahead and crush what's left of it later. Miscellaneous junk. Is that a radiator? That is. There's a copper. No, those are, never mind. I thought it was copper radiator, but no, those are aluminum wafers and steel tubing through the center. So just scrap iron. Hay wagon. I think that'll fit in the crusher just like it is. Bunches of T-posts, and they're almost all bent at least a little bit, so these here will go right in the iron box. This stuff will add up good for the weight. Oh, nice. I don't remember this being here. This is a good roll of cemetery wire. Cemetery fence. I don't know why it's called that. Probably because you see it around a lot of old cemeteries, but it looks like it's in pretty good shape still, so I'll save that. Some more good heavy iron. I just stepped on something. Yep, there's iron down here in the weeds. This is going to be a tire hazard deluxe out here. I'll have to be really careful where I drive and how I drive. More good heavy iron. What in the world is this? It's a rear end. They must have used it for something. They have a transmission hooked up to an engine. They probably had some sort of drive shaft in between here to make that turn, So I don't know exactly what they had going on here, but they had some ingenuity going on, that's for sure. Some sort of drill. Huh. I don't know. This is kind of a neat setup here. This is for a 3-point for a tractor, but it's got a lift, like a motor hoist type lift. Kind of interesting. I might save that as well. I'd be a little bit nervous to use that because if you lifted anything heavy, you just pop your front end right off the ground. But I guess if you're lifting something light, it would work. I mean, you could probably lift an engine out of a car with it or something like that. More heavy iron. couple brush hogs, but these are really old and really rusty, so they're good scrap material. What's that? Oh, that's just a log down in the grass. This piece here, I think these are all separate already, so I believe I'll be able to get this out of here without the torch. Most of the torch work is going to be that stuff up front in the front field. Most of the stuff back here I think I can get by without the torch. More farm equipment. I really wish I had a material handler. If I had a material handler, I could just gather all this stuff up, put it in one area up front, and then they could bring in their big trailers and I could load it all that way. That would make life so much easier, but oh well. Wagon wheel. This flatbed piece is kind of neat. Might be able to do something with that. I don't know. We'll think about it. More iron, more trees. That tree will come right out of the ground, no problem. Oh, check this out, guys. An old hay claw. That's pretty cool. I like that. Conveyor belt. I'll have to fold that up a little bit to get it in. And then it looks like an International, that's 3/4 ton KB3. Is that a 1 ton? Something like that. The hood's laying on the back, so I can probably make a nose out of this one. Yeah, let's make a good nose once I put the hood back on it. Somebody might buy the cabin clip, I don't know. Pretty beat up though, so I kind of doubt it. It looks like an early 50s Ford hood on here too. Huh. And then here's another International cab. This one's a little bit on the beat up side as well. Probably cut the back of the cab off on this one. That's about it. I'll take the whole cab home, but most of it's just going to get scrapped later. And another conveyor belt. This one's kind of a neat industrial look to it. I've saved one like this once before. I thought, you know, they could probably make something out of these sides because they got that good industrial look. So if I can fit this on the trailer, I may take this whole thing home as well. And then back here, there is rack after rack after rack after rack. I don't even know what all this stuff is. Oh, firewood racks. Huh. Yeah, I see now. Because they got firewood on a couple of them. Man, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of them. 15 firewood racks. I don't know. I'll look at them when I get them out. If they're not rusted, I may try to find a home for those. Some cattle equipment. More stuff. Looks like there's a fence running through here. I'll have to remember this is here. There's a good burn ring. Definitely hang on to that. Some tables. Some rollers. These are just junk. This table looks like a pretty stout table. I'll probably hang on to this one. Maybe that one as well. I don't know. We'll see how it stacks on the trailer. Scrap iron. More farm equipment. That piece will fit right in the crusher. If there were more cars out here, junk cars, I would bring the crusher out here and just crush everything on location. But unfortunately, it's just not enough cars, and so I wouldn't be able to make enough. I wouldn't be able to crush the stuff without cars, because you have to have cars to crush farm equipment. This hay rake, I know they said that belongs to a neighbor down the street. It does not go, which is unfortunate because it's got a really cool cast iron McCormick seat on it, but oh well. More iron, more iron. Here's a big brush hog. This is the monster here. This thing is huge. I think if a guy cuts the tongue off, this will fit right in the crusher. Some more of those steel platforms over there, a bunch of them. I don't know what those are, but man, you could lay those out, set stuff on top of them, keep the weeds under control. All the ones that have a floor on them still I may hang on to. Bunches of scrap iron, and then down there's just more racks and not farm equipment, but like iron, and I don't even know what it all is, most of it anyway. Bunch of pipe down there on the ground, all that sort of stuff we're just gonna scrap. Last time I was out here, all these sunflowers are still blooming. They weren't nearly as tall though. It's sure pretty out here. Oh, that one went right in my mouth. That was good. Oh, looks like my dad's here. Well, this is new. This was all blocked off with the gate last time we were here. So I think, yeah, you may have saw in the drone video, there's a bunch of goats in there. So we're gonna have to coordinate that. Here's some more iron. and a sickle mower, a bunch of discs. That's all good stuff that can go right in the box. It's not a John Deere mower, is it? No, it's just a David Bradley. Some of those John Deere sickle mowers are worth some money, but David Bradleys really aren't. Not around here anyway. I know some places they probably are, but such is life. Some old troughs. Looks like a stovetop. Huh. I always thought these things are so neat, but once again, they just don't have any value. They sell them at the auction for $5 or $10. Some more cemetery wire, but this one's pretty wingled up, so probably just scrap all this stuff out of here. Oh, check out this tin. Looks like what's left of an old building, but that style of tin over there is made to look like brick. I always thought that was the neatest stuff, and in large volume and decent condition, it's worth quite a bit of money. But in that condition there, all mangled up down in the wood like this, not really worth anything. Not worth the effort to get it out of here anyway. These 3 buildings go. They want them taken out of here, so I'll have to come in here, and they probably have bolts holding them down. I'll have to cut those bolts and then knock them over, and I'll probably just get them out of here for now, get them out of the goat pen, and then I can mangle them up later, take the roof off of them. And if you smash them in on one side, put them up against a tree, you can usually fold them up kind of double. They smash in half one way and then in half again, and then they fit right in the crusher. Whew. Rabbit or something. Yep, cottontail rabbit. Now, one thing I did not realize was in here. Oh, check this out, guys. I didn't know this was here either. Looks like an old truck bed. Just saw this. That's a long bed. That's like one of those 9-footers, I think. That's pretty cool. Does it have a tailgate? No tailgate. Can't tell what it is. Looks like maybe International. Looks like I can get it out that way fairly easy. So yeah, I'll try to save that. This job's way bigger than I thought it was. May have bit off more than I can chew, doing it all by myself, trying to run a business and do everything else at the same time. You know, push comes to shove, we're getting it all for scrap price. So if I get backed against the wall, this is why a lot of this stuff gets scrapped like that. It's just because someone in my situation, I've got a short amount of time to get it done. I may have to just come in here and get it done, scrap it all. But yeah, I did not realize this farm equipment was right through here. There's not a lot. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Yeah, a little bit of weight there. And then it looks like that's a Chevy pickup over there. Can't quite tell. I thought it was a Ford from the drone footage, but I think that's a Chevy. Oh, that hood that's laying over there, that's what it goes to, is that truck right there. So that's another nose I can cut off. Cool. Yeah, they've got this locked up, so I'll have to get the key or the code or something to get in there. So I think really a guy could go in there and knock that out pretty quick. I don't think it would take that long. I mean, what is there? 2 trucks and that tractor, and that farm equipment. I could have all that stuff set out here in the field in about 30 minutes. And then these buildings are going to take a little bit more effort. But even then, once I get them knocked over, I can just shove them out real quick and get them out here where I can work with them. I'd say probably within a couple hours, I'll be done in there. And I can have everything set out to where I can process it better out here. Lawnmowers, that one there looks like a David Bradley or something. A walk behind with a plow behind it. Just junk. Looks like a basket off of a combine. Not a basket, grain bin. Another spring tooth. Hay grinder. A few more pieces of farm equipment. Well, that's kind of a neat one there. It's got little windows in it so you can see the levels of what's inside it. Bunches of hog feeders through these trees right here. Those don't weigh much, but good junk. I don't know if the lids say anything or not. Bunch of iron down here. Good heavy iron. Gotta watch where you walk. Looks like plain lids on this one, so it's just junk. Oh no, wait, these have, okay, yeah, this is the cool one. This one has the S's on it. Took my eyes a second to adjust when it came into the shade, but yeah, I'll save this one. This one here, I don't know. We'll see. I'll consider hauling it home. Oh, this one's got M's on it. Huh, I don't have any with M's, so yeah, I'll save both of those. Man, my eyes are struggling. I think there's just a few pieces of tin right here in this batch of trees. Nothing special. You can kind of see this truck a little bit better over here in that tractor. Just an old grain truck, a little bit of stuff around it, and that tractor over there. I think the buildings are all empty. I don't know. There's a little bit of stuff up there in those trees, and then there's that truck up there. I don't know if that truck goes or not. You probably can't see it very good on this camera. I'd say this truck's been here a while. It's been here long enough for that tree to grow, crush the truck, and then the tree die. Long time. And it's pretty mangled now that I look at it. It is a half ton though, short bed, so this bed's probably worth something. The frame, cab is rotted. Oh, there's the goats. I just went ahead and hopped over. I figured the goats ain't gonna bother me none. Just goats. Now if it was cows, sometimes cows make me nervous. Some cows are friendly, but every now and then you get a mean one. Missing a fender here. The grill is mangled, so I can't even use this one for art. Looks like a decent passenger door on it though, and like I say, that bed. And there's a couple big international fenders laying here beside it. One there and one down here on the ground. I assume they're international. That's what they look like to me. Those might be something. There's a tail off of a windmill in over here. The whole blade might be down in the weeds. Yeah, the whole thing's down there in the weeds. Don't know what condition it's in, but if nothing else, the tail fan. Then here's this tractor. I want to save the grill off of it, but beyond that, it's probably just junk. Pretty rough once again. You can tell it's been out in the pasture for a long time, but lots of good art on this one. It's got a couple good doors on it too, really. If somebody wanted to use those doors for pickup. 2 John Deere plows in here. This is a 4-bottom. Yeah, John Deere. I don't know what number this one is. I don't remember where it's marked. This is a 3-point. Then over here, this one, was this a John Deere as well? I don't know. I was thinking it was. That's what I was going to show you. That was really cool. But now that I look at it again, I don't think it is. My memory isn't the greatest, I guess. Yeah, I do not believe that this is a John Deere. I'm not sure. I don't think it's McCormick. I don't see a logo on it anywhere, so it must be some other brand. Not sure what, but 3-bottom plow. It's kind of small, kind of neat, but it's not a John Deere, so I don't think it really has any value. They sell these at the auctions all the time for 25 bucks. I don't know why in my head. I think what I did was I just remembered there being this John Deere plow over here and that plow over there, and somehow I put the two together in my imagination and thought this was a pull behind plow, which I'll still save this. This is a 3-point setup, so I mean, it'll still bring a little bit of money. It's in decent condition still, but not nearly as much as if it was a John Deere plow, but of that other style. I've seen 3- and 4-bottom plows of that style sell for $400 and $500 and $600 before. Then here's an old disc. I did talk to the shredder company just a minute ago, actually, and I think they're going to set dumpsters out here for me. So I'll have to make the stuff fit in the dumpsters, but I have to get decent weight in there. The more weight I get in the dumpster, the more I get paid. If I send them a bunch of 5-ton dumpsters, they're going to dock me on price. If I can get, 10 tons in there, that's better. Then I saw this in the trees just now. This is a John Deere sickle mower. It's not the old kind though. It's old, but it's not that old. What is this, a number 8W? I don't know if that'll be worth anything or not. I'll get it out and look at it. As long as it's not locked up, I may go ahead and hang on to that, because I think, John Deere stuff usually brings more money than other brands. People pay extra for that green paint. And then I also did notice, I believe this is poison hemlock that's grown in here. Pretty sure that's what that is. So I need to be careful not to take any of these berries home with me, because I don't want that stuff to get established on my property. But yeah, if they're able to bring those dumpsters out here, honestly, just for the sake of not having to haul the stuff home, I think I'll just go ahead and take the less money and just pack whatever I can get in the dumpster. And so stuff like these, are these fold-up tables? These are fold-up tables. Man, I might have to hang on to those. Those might have some value. I just now realized that. So we'll look at those. But now that I know I'm not going to have to haul home everything, I'm more inclined to save some of the better stuff. What I'll probably do is some stuff like that big hay chuck wagon, whatever it is over there, that big tall one, stuff like that, I'll probably go ahead and take the roof off of it, but then the rest of it I'll just go ahead and throw on the trailer, because that's something that if I don't crush it, there's no way I'll get any weight in the dumpster if I put that in a dumpster, so I'm not going to even try. Of course, I'll take all the vehicles home, and then like these manure spreaders, once again, there's not a whole lot of weight there to put in the dumpster, kind of bulky, and so I can take stuff like that and I can stack that on top of something else or something, and so I can use that as a container to haul home other stuff, like say those iron wheels. If I want to keep those, I can throw those inside of this. Looks like there's a frame. Oh, these iron wheels are on a frame, I see now. But then like over here, there's this old cement mixer. I'll probably just scrap that. I thought about hanging on to it, but it doesn't have a very good look to it. no good color. You know, those dumpsters are 40-yard dumpsters. They're 20 feet long or 21 feet long or something like that inside. I think they're 21 feet long. So I can take something like this, and if I cut the tongue off of it, then I can take that, throw it in the dumpster, throw the tongue in the dumpster, you know, throw some stuff like that in there. That's an old buzzsaw there, and throw this in there and get some good weight at the bottom. And then I can take another one of these pieces of farm equipment and put on top of that and just kind of pack around it. I should be able to get, you know, at least, you know, 7, 8, 9 tons in those dumpsters. So like I say, I might lose $10 or $15 a ton doing it that way, but it's way easier than having to haul. If I have to haul this stuff home and crush it in cars, I'm gonna have, you know, $10, $15 a ton just in transportation and handling it. So I might as well just take the loss now and save myself some time and effort. It's not like I'm lacking for things to do. I got plenty of other stuff to do. And like all these bulky tin things here, I can put, you know, a few of those in every dumpster and pack iron on them or around them. Then I was looking at these garden tractors, and I may go ahead and take 2 of these home. There's this one here, I don't know. It's got this attachment on the back of it. The attachment's probably honestly worth more than that is, so I may just save the attachment. And this old International Cub still has the deck on it down in the weeds. Only thing missing is the seat. But this has the grill on it, the hood on it, the rear end, the transmission. I thought, you know what, somebody might want that for parts or for a restoration project, so I may go ahead and hang on to this. And this would be something here, like I could take this and put it in that manure spreader and take it home that way. Before I was like, man, I don't want to make 50 million trips hauling stuff home, so I wasn't too keen on saving too much stuff. But now that I know I'm going to be setting dumpsters in here, it won't be as bad. And stuff like that, grinder back there, I'll have to go ahead and take that home and crush it, just because that won't fit in the dumpster. It will fit in the dumpster, but that's a whole dumpster by itself almost, and there's just not enough weight there. Look at all these butterflies on these flowers. Probably can't see them very good on this camera, but there's hundreds of them all through here, all through this whole field. Just hundreds of butterflies on every patch of flowers all the way across. That's pretty awesome. And I believe we have a person buying this piece and the big piece, which that's a lot of weight, but at the same time that's a lot of work to cut those up. So that does not break my heart to see those go into a different home. Those are probably the two hardest to cut up pieces on the property, so I'm actually kind of glad to see those leaving. Okay, I figured it out. It says Polarine. I think it said something like oil and grease or something like that on the side of it, down here below it. And then it says for motor cars. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that on there very good. I'm trying to get it where you can see it. It's hard to focus with this camera. But it says Polarine, yeah, oil and greases for motor cars. And then it's a Standard Oil. And I got to looking, and sure enough, it does say Standard Oil right here. Standard Oil Company. And then back here on the back, it says mica axle grease. This is just a really neat piece. Unfortunately, it is rusty underneath, all rusted out up in here, but still, for display purposes, this is pretty awesome. Fairly positive this isn't the correct cart for it. It probably should have been on wooden wheels, like they could actually pull down the road. They probably converted to these steel wheels and axles at some point in time through the years, just because, you know, the wooden ones don't last nearly as long. These here, obviously, it's been sitting for decades and they're still good. You could go out there right now and hook the horses up to it and pull it, but it still displays really nice, and it could be restored and repainted. Oh, what's it say on this side? It says burn perfection. I don't know who spray painted on this poor thing, but some point through the years. Unfortunately, the doors are gone. I will be looking around to see if the doors are laying somewhere where this was at. That would be really cool to find those. And it says something up here. I can't quite tell what this is. Just a really neat piece. But I will not be going back out there today. I've got to haul a bunch of cars. This video, I just wanted to show you what all's there in detail, that we kind of know what's going on. I'm not sure what day I'm going to start on this cleanup. Either tomorrow, or I might get a little bit tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. If not, next week sometime, I'll go out there and I'll start spending full days, or at least half days, working on the cleanup. It's going to be a fun one. Stay tuned for more. Oh, and because people always ask this question, which I'll probably answer it several times throughout this video series, people always say, what do you pay for stuff like this when you go out there? And we can do it multiple ways. We can go out, we can look a job over like we did today and say, I think there's X amount of stuff there. This is what I'll give you, and just pay up front, and then it's ours. However, usually if we do it that way, it's in our favor. The reason why I say that is because you always find more stuff towards the end, and once it's already paid for, it's already paid for. So the way I prefer to do it, if possible, if everybody can be in agreement, is that we just pay as we go. And so that's what we'll be doing on this. And so something like this here, obviously I'm not going to pay scrap price for this tanker, because I mean, scrap price on this, I mean, it's like 50 bucks, not much. So the better stuff like this, and anything that I don't scrap, I will keep separate, write down separate. We'll pay fair market value on it. Obviously not full value. We are reselling the stuff, so we've got to make money too. But I'm not going to pay 50 bucks for it, if that makes sense. But everything else, we're just going to keep track of the weights, pay scrap price for it. We can pay the owner once a week, once a month, whatever they're paying at the end, whatever they prefer. Some people want money throughout the process. Some people don't even want to see a check until it's all said and done. We used to go to a salvage yard and crush there, and the day we'd pull the crusher in, they'd ask if we could front them a couple $1,000s. They were always broke and they needed some money. We don't always do that, but they were trustworthy, so we would do it with them. But anyway, stay tuned for the rest of this series. There might be some other stuff going on as well in between videos. I really don't know. It's pretty crazy right now. But I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day, and remember to get out there and find an adventure, and maybe, just maybe, you can go exploring out in the trees, see some cool stuff on a farm somewhere. We'll see you on the next one, whatever it is that we're doing.